Hey everybody, this is George Brasher with Shakedown of Thunder Sports, and you're about to watch the two Irish brothers. Go Irish.
How's it going, everyone? I am ND Sean for. Oh crap! How's it going, everyone? I am ND Sean 45,
and I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And together we make up the Two Irish Brothers show. We want to give special thanks to those other two guys that were here in the last video, the Iron Sheik and Guy Fawkes. I think they did a pretty good job. So. Yeah, very entertaining. Those, but that Iron Sheik, man, he has a problem with me. I'm gonna have to talk to him and see what his problem is.
You just need to tell him you're one of his biggest fans, and I think he'd be flattered, and then he'd leave you alone.
Maybe. So Ben, coming off a, well, I'd say kind of a showdown of a game against North Carolina. We have another tricky one coming up this week against the Navy midshipmen. And when I was on my own, I used to have this preview covered in like 3 to 4 minutes because there's really not much to say. When it comes to the Navy midshipmen, it's always triple option, run. We know what to expect.
Yep. The Naval Academy brings forth, obviously, one of the roughest offenses to play against, which is the triple option. But anybody that is a Notre Dame regular knows that Navy pulls out a playbook that they only use for Notre Dame.
Yes.
So what Navy's going to throw at us this week is going to be something that Notre Dame hasn't seen all year, which will be interesting. Especially saying since Navy came off of their victory, their upset victory, mind you, over Tulsa without completing a single forward pass.
That's incredible when you think about it.
You heard that right. Didn't complete a single forward pass in their upset victory of Tulsa. They had 4 attempts, but none of them connected. A big old 0 in the receiving category and passing category for the Navy midshipmen. After that, what was it? It was a 20-17 victory over Tulsa. So that's crazy. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. I think we've only seen this like once or twice in my lifetime, to be very honest with you. So I would assume they're going to pass a bunch. And since they're number 2 in the country, and you give credit where credit is due, Cincinnati, Navy had 116 yards passing against Cincinnati. So this is a team that is capable of passing.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see that this week. I really do. I think we'll see a bunch of passes in this Notre Dame Navy game.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what we were talking about. You know, the special package that Navy has set aside just for us, and that's where this is something that has happened ever since Ken Niumatalolo took over the reins for the midshipman football team. He's always made it his agenda to try to find some way to try to beat us more than what they have. Because there was a period where Navy hadn't beaten us since 1964, and of course in 2007 they finally broke that. Yeah. And then when Ken Niumatalolo took over, there were a couple of years where not only did Navy beat us, but there were a couple times where they actually just straight up dominated us, and we had no answer for it.
Yeah, and that's go ahead.
I was just gonna say that special package that they set aside just for us. It could be a number of things. It could be like what you said, Ben. They could pass the ball more. It could be a blocking scheme. It could be who knows? It could be a number of things. But Ken Niumatalolo, since he took over, has been notorious for that.
Yeah, I mean, and what I was going to say is this Navy's record doesn't show really how good they are. Okay, they have 2 wins, obviously them upsetting Tulsa yesterday, and then they beat UCF. But what I think a lot of people aren't focusing on with Navy this year is Navy's defense is good. I mean, not like great, because I mean, like Georgia's defense is obviously great. But Navy's defense is rock solid. A bend but don't break defense. I mean, it took Cincinnati everything Cincinnati had to beat this Naval Academy team. They ended up winning 27-20. I mean, that's, and I do believe that might have been the lowest score for Cincinnati. I'm going to look that up real quick. But I think that was probably their lowest scoring game of their season, the Bearcats. So, this is going to be a team.
Actually, their score with us was 24-13. So they've actually had, yeah.
Yeah, so they put up. Yeah, so, this year, us and the Naval Academy are the only two teams that have held them to under 30 points. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at with Navy. So Navy's going to throw, as we say, the kitchen sink at you.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen. It's going to be possessions are going to be a premium in this game. I mean, because they just eat the clock.
Yes.
I mean, if you follow triple option and you understand how the triple option works, it is a clock eater. And that's what the Naval Academy is going to want to do, is just run that clock dry.
Well, my high school alma mater for the longest time, I mean, they just started running an RPO shotgun offense now, but for the longest time, when I was going to school in Geneseo, Illinois, we ran an offense that was called the wing T formation, and it was pretty much the same thing. It was almost like a veer option kind of offense, almost like what Navy runs. And it was the same thing with us, going on 8 or 9 minute drives and finishing with the touchdown and giving our opponent, forcing them into panic mode early. That you have to at least match that to stay in the game. But so that's definitely what we're going to see with Navy on Saturday. But this just tells the whole story. I mean, you look at their schedule and the scores of those games. This is a team that could easily be a 5-3 team right now.
Yes. But
you look at their overall offense. This tells the whole story right here. Total between all four. Actually, they've had 5 guys pass the ball, 3 quarterbacks and 2 fullbacks, which I'm sure on the fullbacks were a trick play or something. But 5 passers on the year. They passed for 472 yards and 2.
And that's grand total. Okay.
Yes,
that's not even like one guy. That's grand total among their passers.
Yes. Yes.
Because their number one starting quarterback has only passed for 270 yards on the season. So
they've only had 2 passing touchdowns in total.
Yeah.
2 passing touchdowns. But then you look at their running game. They've ran in with everybody. They've ran 486 times for 1,787 yards and 12 touchdowns. Right. And again, that just
and if you don't count the losses like sacks and all that they have, technically they've gained 2,000 yards rushing.
Yes.
So, I mean,
that tells.
And we're not even done with the season yet.
No.
So it's you know what you're getting when you face Navy. You know what you're getting, and the thing of it is Notre Dame has to be on their toes, as you said. This is a game where this is my trap. This is like my undercover trap game every year. Every year, whether Notre Dame's undefeated coming into this game or hasn't won a game, this is the game that Notre Dame has to be careful with, because that triple option and the way that they play, I won't say that Navy plays dirty, but I mean, just the chop blocks and just the physicality of their line and stuff, eats guys up, eats them up. And, Navy will get you. I mean, they got us in 2007 and they've gotten us a couple times since. And, this is a team that obviously these guys, every single guy comes in with a lunch pail mentality, and they're not afraid to put their life on the line, when it comes to this game. So,
well, it's very simple. us and Army are the two biggest games that
of their schedule.
yes.
Yes.
And of course, I guess you could throw
they played Air Force this year, so that was their third big game.
Yeah. Because
so,
there's that Commander in Chief's trophy that they play for. But yeah, so I mean, it's also no coincidence that several years we always come out of this game with a few of our guys banged up.
Yep, and that's the physicality part. Yep.
And it's like I've said many times, I mean, I'm not surprised by that because, with everybody being worried about headshots and all that and concussions, it's not surprising that you see more teams coaching their guys to go for the legs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when you play a triple option team like Navy, you're going to be in for, well, kind of a long day. Even if you come out on top, it still was a long day.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean,
yeah, it's going to be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with this game. And, hopefully I haven't heard word. I mean, and granted, we put this video out, when we don't not before, but we don't get all the information we could have before we put this video out. Let's just say that.
Well, put it this way: the first college football playoff ranking will already be released because we're recording this video on Sunday night,
and the whole situation with Kyle Hamilton could change. I mean, he could not play, he could play, who knows, So I think depending on what happens with that situation, changes the defensive aspect of this game too. I mean, we saw it against North Carolina, 34 points allowed against North Carolina. I think, as the Iron Sheik said, other than Florida State, that's like the most we've given up all season as a team. So,
well, going forward,
and I hate putting it all on one guy, but it's like, okay, what would have happened if Kyle Hamilton had been there? I mean, would they have scored that many points? I don't think so. And it's crazy to think about because football's a team sport.
Well, and even without Kyle Hamilton in there against North Carolina, I also think that if we don't have all these missed tackles and if we finish tackles, I think they don't put up that many points against us. Because there was a lot of poor tackling against North Carolina. I mean, I hate saying it, but there was. I think even the players and the coaches themselves would tell you that, yes, the tackling was poor. That was not the kind of performance we want to have. We need to clean that up. And it's not for just Navy, but these remaining 4 games on our schedule. Because if we want to be on the big stage in the NY6, and I'll just say it because it's not over yet, but an outside chance of maybe breaking into the playoffs, who knows? As crazy as this season has been,
yeah,
we'll see. But we'll just stick with an NY6 bowl berth. How about that? But
and the other thing with the NY6 bowl berth, because that's, I mean, at the moment where I think that we're headed, look at the teams that'll potentially have a berth in those games. Okay, you got Ohio State, you have Oregon, you have Michigan. I mean, potentially Cincinnati or Oklahoma, depending on what happens with them. Oklahoma State or Auburn. I mean, these are teams that are right in the thick of things that would give Notre Dame trouble. I mean, I'm not, it's not to be a realist, but I mean, it's been that kind of a year with these teams.
Well, right now, if it's the Peach Bowl, it will likely be against the ACC champions. If it's the Fiesta Bowl, because those are the 2 bowls we have a shot at. I mean, obviously the Rose and Sugar, they have the conference tie-ins, of course, but if we make the Fiesta Bowl, it's looking like maybe. I mean, early projections I've heard were teams like Michigan. I've heard Kentucky, so that one's a little hard to call at this point.
Yeah, I think it would be, like an Auburn or an Oklahoma State. Because, I mean, for a while it was Florida, but now that Florida's lost 2 more games since then, them losing to Kentucky, and then obviously they lost to Georgia yesterday, which I don't think anybody's beating Georgia this year. It is, those are tough teams. I mean, and I mean, the ACC champion, which is looking like it'll be Wake Forest, could potentially crash the party. I mean, you got Ohio State ahead of them. Let's see who's ahead of them. We have Wake Forest is 10th. Ahead of them is Michigan, us, Notre Dame, Oregon, Ohio State, and then Michigan State. Well, Michigan State and Ohio State got to play each other.
And of course,
Michigan and Ohio State got to play each other. Oregon still has to play, I do believe, Stanford and Oregon State, and then they'll play in their championship if they make it. So that's a potential loss for them. So if Wake Forest wins out and goes undefeated,
that could get interesting. It really could.
They could get into the playoffs. And if Cincinnati slips, then I think Wake Forest is definitely in. So, it's going to get interesting. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens.
And of course, this being Sunday as we film this, we're going off the latest AP rankings. Of course, the rankings that matter come out on Tuesday.
Yes.
And maybe, who knows, maybe Ben, since you have to work, maybe I could get on here and break down the top 10 in the playoff rankings.
Yeah, that could be a potential thing.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll figure something out with that. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But back to Navy. Got to be on our toes. We absolutely have to be on our toes. This is a game you can't take lightly.
No,
I'm sorry. None of the rest of the games you can take lightly. These teams that are remaining on Notre Dame's schedule could get them. Stanford could get us. Navy could get us. Gosh, I'm trying to think who else.
Virginia. Then the other two, Virginia and Georgia Tech, are the two that round out the four.
So you just don't know. You just got to. Look at what happened yesterday with Iowa and Wisconsin. Wisconsin got Iowa.
Well, the bottom line is our offense is starting to come around big time, but the defense has to clean up from that performance after that they had against North Carolina. You cannot play on defense like that and expect to get to the NY6. Yeah. So we got to. It's got to
is what you're going for. Anything better is a blessing, in my opinion. And luck. There's going to be a bunch of luck involved, but yeah, NY6 or bust, in my opinion, right now.
Exactly. So with that said, Ben, we got to make our score projections for this game. So I'll let you have the honors.
Notre Dame builds off of what they did last week, which against North Carolina, which was 44 points. I think Notre Dame pulls a Marshall on Naval Academy, and they win 49-21. That's
okay. We're actually kind of close. We're kind of close. I think Navy. We've shut out Navy in the past, but I can't predict that just because of Navy's offense, and they're going to get some points on you. That's all there is to it. But for my score projection, I'm going to say Notre Dame 45, Navy 20.
I dig it.
So we're in the ballpark. I that's how I see this game going. I think the defense will improve. They know what they have to do, and the offense is clicking at the right time. So I think that's a very realistic score projection.
Yeah, I think so too.
Either one.
It depends. It really depends, and we'll see.
All right. Well, Ben, is there anything else that you have to add?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, on that note, like we said, since it's still technically Halloween, we wish everybody a happy Halloween and a great start into November here. Hard to imagine we're into November already, and we'll be cutting the turkey before we know it.
Yeah, no kidding.
So,
and then we'll have not playoff. Well, we will. We'll have the NFL playoff, but we'll have bowl game season right around the corner.
Yes, it's amazing how fast the season goes fast every year. It seems like it's crazy. So on that note, I am ND Sean 45.
We forgot the magic word, Sean.
What's that?
Please, 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 please.
Oh,
if
yes.
you like this video, hit that like button down below. And be sure to hit the subscribe button with the bell icon so you never miss a video. That's all I got.
Oh, and also I almost forgot too. We now have a TikTok page. So if anybody's interested in that, I'll try to have the link to that in the description box below. So make sure to go check out that. And also, I hope everybody liked me hanging out with Jack Skellington and the Grinch.
I thought it was quite funny.
All right. So now we can do the ending. On that note, I'm ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And as always, God bless, good night, and go Irish.
Go Irish. Beat Navy.